Hi everybody, my name is Jakob Suchan, and I'm from the Human-Centered Cognitive Assistant Lab at the University of Bremen. I will talk about our paper, The Geometry of a Scene, and here we develop computational model for semantic interpretation of visual perception in the context of cognitive film studies. And so one of the main focus in cognitive film studies is to investigate how people experience a movie when they are watching it, and especially on what kind of cinematographic aids guides the attention of the people. So, for example, consider this analysis by Tony Zhu.
One of the best compliments you can give a movie is that it just feels alive. There's something in there that has a pulse that's unpredictable. It's not just the story or the actors, it's in the frames themselves. Consider this short scene from Nicholas Winding Refn's Drive. At first glance, it doesn't seem all that special. But check this out. Cover up half the frame. Notice that the right side of frame tells an entire story about these characters on its own, and the left side tells another complementary story. So a shot that could have told one thing actually tells two, and instead of being bored, our eyes are constantly switching between the two halves of the screen.
So our aim is to enable systems to do this kind of analysis automatically by combining scene structure information with eye movement data. And don't want to do this only on one scene, but in a larger scale visual perception studies, including a lot of participants and many scenes. So the first step, we are looking at the perceptual elements of the scene, and we are extracting elements like areas of intention by clustering or based on heat maps. Then the second step, we're using a computer vision method that are existing in the community for identifying shots, estimating the camera movement, detecting and tracking of people, and identifying characters. And we put all this together to generate a model of the scene structure that represents the dynamics of the scene. And based on this, we're then doing a semantic analysis. And for this, we have developed a computational narrative model that is grounded in the spatiotemporal configuration of the scene, and it has inherent means to reason about space-time, and conceptual information about the objects and individuals in the scene and the interactions they are involved in. And it can serve as a basis for doing all kind of reasoning tasks like semantic grounding, query answering, relational learning, and so on. And towards this, so this is we implemented this in constrained logic programming, where we have spatiotemporal objects that we are using for defining movement patterns and actions and events. And so for the scene that we've seen in the beginning, we can then interpret the dynamics of the scene as spatiotemporal objects in our framework, and come up with a declaratively grounded narrative description of the dynamics of the scene that involves what is happening in there. And we can use this in combination with the spectator's eye movement data to answer questions about how the people perceive the scene. So, for example, at which time people were focusing on a certain character, or how the perception changes due to some specific situation that is in there, like the camera is tracking Irene and the driver. So thank you for your attention.